Hello everyone, welcome to another beer review. Thank you very much for watching and for joining. Today I would like to review, taste and share my opinion about a beer that is very close to my heart because it reminds me of my childhood quite a lot. It brings back a lot of memories. And when I talk about beer and childhood, they tend to not go together very well. I know that. And it doesn't mean that I was drinking beer as a young child. It just means that I grew up, in the vicinity of the brewery. It's the Berliner Pilsner, so a Pilsner from Berlin, from the east part of Berlin. So that this originates from East Berlin, or at least this is what I know, from back then. And the brewery was located, very close to where I grew up. I remember every time I walked past the brewery back in the 80s and potentially even early 90s, every time you walk past the brewery, you would get that old kind of brewery smell. I mean, at the time, as a child, I thought it stank horribly. Because but now I probably think it's an awesome smell, because I think when you grow to become a really beer lover, I think you would also appreciate that old smell of a brewery a lot more than I did back then. But it was located about maybe 10-minute walk from where I grew up, from where I lived. It's in the east part of Berlin, in the regions or the districts of Weißensee, Hohenschönhausen and Lichtenberg. So there is a kind of, or used to be, now Berlin changed the districts again and they kind of merged some districts. But there used to be a triangle of Lichtenberg here, Hohenschönhausen here, and Weißensee here. And the brewery was kind of located already in Weißensee, in the district of Weißensee, but at that kind of intersection of these three districts. Whereas I lived in Lichtenberg already, the brewery was in Weißensee, and then in Hohenschönhausen, I used to go to do my sport, because as a kid or as a younger, teenager, I used to do ice skating at Dynamo Berlin. This is also where Dynamo Berlin Football Club comes from, BFC Dynamo, in the big sport kind of aerial, where you have a football stadium, ice hockey stadium, ice skating rink, and a lot of different other kind of sport facilities. And this is where the ice hockey team from Berlin originates from as well. So I used to go there all the time, because the brewery was kind of on my way. Sometimes when I went in kind of different direction from home, I did a bit of detour. I would walk past the brewery to get to sports, and I would get that brewery smell all the time. And it really just reminds me of my childhood, and that's why I really wanted to share this beer today in this video, and give you my thoughts and maybe share also a bit why this is a bit close to my heart. It was also a beer that obviously when I became a bit older, and started to drink beer, this was the go-to beer for me, Berliner Pilsner, because it was so close to home, but also because it was a sponsor of my local ice hockey team and my football team as well. So when we went to ice hockey games, back then still in the old arena, or when we went to football games, at the, like whether it was Dynamo Berlin or some other local club, this would be the kind of beer that was available. So it was always kind of around. Now, obviously, I don't live in Berlin anymore, and I haven't been living in Berlin for over 23 years actually. But now I do go regularly. So I do like to take some German beers when I go back to Germany. either to visit some family or when I travel over to just across the border from the Czech Republic, maybe to do some shopping. And this is where I got this one from. I bought this in Altenberg in Germany, which is just when you go from Teplice, you go up the mountain, you cross the border, and there's Altenberg, which is a beautiful little town, known for particularly for winter sports. So if you're into the skiing, Altenberg is a very, very nice place to go to. But also during the summer, there's a lot of activities like hiking, cycling, and so on. So a very nice place to visit. And there's a supermarket that sells this beer, so I picked up a few of them, also some other beers as well, which I will review in later videos. This is a typical Pilsner, a typical German Pilsner, 5% alcohol content. When you go to a pub in Berlin, you would get this served in either one of these glasses, so the kind of Tulpe, as we call it, or you would get it served in one of these glasses, so a kind of tall 0.5 liter glass, kind of very thin, so not as wide as the kind of Tübinger glasses or some of the other beer glasses that you get here in the Czech Republic. If you go to a pub in Berlin and you order a Pilsner, there is a good chance that you get it served in something like this. And I will be using this today. It is a Budějovický Budvar glass, or Budweiser. Budvar actually says on it, so the English term. But I think the Berliner Pilsner would not mind if I use the Budějovický Budvar glass for it today. So let's take a look, see what this is all about, and let's see. Nice bottle cap as well, by the way. So I don't know if you can see it with the old logo. It actually is the old logo, as it used to be back in East Germany. So I really like that they kind of kept this and, haven't changed around, for marketing purposes. It's, they kept it the old logo, which is fantastic. So let's give this a pour. Let's see. Obviously, with the German Pilsners, I'm not really trying to go for a big foamy head because, that would be kind of unnatural. But unfortunately, I did manage to get a bit of a foamier head than I initially wanted. But that's fine. It will calm down a bit. But, and just for maybe comparison, when you look at Czech beers, the kind of Czech lagers, here the color is, it's very pale. It's a kind of yellowish color. It's really much see-through, and of course now I have a big foamy head, but it's not usually something that you would expect on a Pilsner. So when you get served like this in a German bar, you probably wouldn't expect to receive this. You maybe get a foam up to here potentially, maybe here. But I poured it wrongly now, so I'm sorry about that. But in comparison, the body is, or the color itself is, very pale, very light bodied. Let's put it this way. Whereas Czech lagers can be, a bit more golden color and also kind of less see-through. I'm not sure if that makes sense when I say it like this in English. But yeah, this is what a typical Pils would look like. So, this is what you get when you order one of them in a Berlin bar, or, when you buy it from the bottle as well. It has a very nice smell to it. Really kind of the Pilsner smell that you, or the Pils smell that you want, a bit hoppy. Very, very nice smell. So let's try this. Na zdraví, Prost, as we say in Germany. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Czech beer. I do think that Czech beer in general, of course, it always depends on the brewery. I mean, there's so many great German breweries out there as well. But in general, I would say that my preferences are with the typical Czech lagers over the German Pils. But this one I really, really enjoy. I really like this one. just this bitterness that you would normally expect from a Pils. When you drink one in Germany, it offers me exactly that. A beautiful kind of bitterness that kicks in almost immediately and then slowly fades as you finish. I really, really, really like this one. I have to have another sip. Very light bodied, very easy to drink. Um, I think it's kind of visible that it is a very light bodied beer, and I think just from the look of it, you can actually see it is easy to drink, and it's exactly that. Um, I find this very refreshing, but what really stands out for me here is that typical pills kind of bitterness that you get. I mean, it's not overly bitter, but it's just right, exactly what I would expect from a pills. Um, Let me try one more. Yeah, a really, really well done um, German pills. There isn't much else that I can add here. Um, it is a zero point 0.5 liter bottle. Um, Now, I can't really tell you where these are available. I do know that some supermarkets have them outside of Berlin, and I think that's one of the important parts in Germany. If you travel, for example, to Bavaria, don't expect these to be in the supermarkets, because in Germany back in the very old days, it used to be Berliner Pilsner in Berlin, then Rostocker Pils in Rostock, in kind of East Germany. You would have Feldschlösschen in Sachsen, in Saxony, and you wouldn't necessarily get regional beers in other regions, whereas that obviously changed now. But you have your normal German beers like the big brands, the Bitburger and Krombacher and so on. I mean, you get them everywhere, but this is probably not something that you would get in Bavaria or in the kind of southwest of Germany. But it was available in Saxony, in Altenberg, where I picked this up. So you will get this in the, kind of, I would say, Eastern German regions. But you wouldn't be able to pick this up probably anywhere else. In Berlin, I mean, obviously this is tapped, in a lot of pubs around the city. More so probably. No, I could be wrong because again, I haven't lived in Berlin for 23 years. But back then, they used to be a kind of division between the east part and the west part. So this would be very much available everywhere in the eastern part. Whereas when you would go to West Berlin, you would more likely get Schultheiss and Berliner Kindle, although now they all belong to the same kind of company. But I'm not sure if that has changed or if that division is still kind of there. But if you're looking for this in a pub in Berlin, in a bar, there's a very good chance in the old Eastern Berlin or East Berlin, this will be available there. For me, again, this brings great childhood memories, but also memories from when I was a young adult. I've had a lot of fun with my friends when we went to ice hockey and football games, whether it was in Berlin or we traveled with our teams to another city. We used to go to a lot of away games. This was always our go-to beer. We would pack a lot of it if we would travel somewhere else throughout Germany, and we would enjoy this quite a lot, and we would have a lot of fun. So I'm really glad that I was able to pick this up and just bring back a little bit of childhood memories and really just enjoy it. There isn't much else that I can say about this beer. For me, this is a great Pilsner, a German Pils, very well done. I know some people may like it, may not like it. I really love it for a number of reasons, and maybe I'm biased because of my childhood memories. That could be a reason as well. But I really, really enjoy this, and I really recommend to try it as well. And that's it. I have one more beer from Berlin that I will share with you. It's Berliner Kindle. Jubiläumspils, so I will share that maybe in a couple of days. I have that sitting in the fridge. I also got a Feldschlösschen from Dresden, which I also picked up. When I picked up this one, and then some porters from the brewery in Löbau. So I will also share my opinions on these. But of course, this is a Czech beer channel. Although I try to check out some of the other countries' beer as well. But over the next couple of days, you will see a few more of the Czech beers before I go maybe back into a beer from Berlin or from Dresden. I did do a video yesterday about the Winoradská 9-degree pale beer, the new one. Unfortunately, the video wasn't recorded properly, so I can't share that with you. I have to get a few new ones and then try again with the video. So that will be up in the next couple of weeks. But for now, I will be enjoying this. And if you go to Berlin, try it. And maybe let me know in the comments what you thought about this beer, if you've had this already, or if you go in the future and you try it. Maybe come back to this video and let me know in the comments what you actually thought. Subscribe to my channel for more beer reviews from the Czech Republic, with Czech beers, but also with some German beers and now also Spanish beers, which I have in the fridge too. Again, if you have any questions, any criticism, any feedback, let me know. I will be happy to read it. I'll be happy to learn, as these are still my very first videos, and I will be really happy to hear your thoughts about them. So thank you very much. Have a nice evening. I will be finishing this. Prost. Bye bye.